Hi everybody and welcome back to episode 15 of the Behind Track Limits podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the Turkish Grand-Prix.
So, that was an interesting one.
Yeah, it was sort of, I very liked the track conditions. I can say at the very start when it was damp and everyone's like, what are we going to do with the tyres? First off, I was like, I'm enjoying this. I literally messaged my dad and I was like, Dad, it's a damp track. I repeat, it's a damp track.
Yeah. Bottas had a good start.
Oh, he had,
which I think did him well. Yeah, he was off.
It was mad.
It was crazy because then at the back there was obviously Fernando and he had his little spin, didn't he?
Did you know that?
He spun.
Gaz, they got 2 penalty points for that.
Did he?
Yeah, apparently he got 2 penalty points.
That's quite harsh.
He couldn't see either from the side, but then they were saying yesterday it was very good of Alonso to know that it was Pierre because it was on his right rear, so he couldn't see him coming up. And then the next person was Perez coming up on the outside. So that's why obviously Pierre comes on and he's like, I was sandwiched in. And he actually was. If you look at it when they're about to go in, you can see it's so tight.
This is what I mean. Like, fair enough, like the penalty, like they want to penalise him. But like 2 penalty points, like I don't see where he could have gone. Like,
no, that's ridiculous.
No, he couldn't. If he braked and dropped out of it, then everybody would have ran into him. You don't slow down at the start of a race. No. Bear in mind, he obviously couldn't accelerate anymore, otherwise he would have. So,
literally, I was like, okay, that's a bit harsh, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, take those 2 points and put that in relation to the bowling game we saw earlier this season, and that also was 2 penalty points.
Yeah,
it's not like he stopped him from racing; like he still carried on.
He just ended up down quite far down. That he then decided to just drive into the side of Mick for some reason.
Yeah, he stopped.
I felt so bad for him.
Let's just talk about Mick on qualifying. Honestly, that was like my lap of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
That was so good. It was like, he's got it. He got it.
You just have to be in that Haas as well, obviously. Not a great car.
The amount of emotional TikToks.
He did out-qualify Daniel.
Yeah.
I didn't actually put 2 and 2 together for that, actually. Holy Jesus.
Yeah, it wasn't McLaren's strongest weekend.
No, I don't.
Not really, was it?
Not that I was too mad about it because the Ferraris did good, so.
Yeah. Yeah. After what, like, was it?
Yeah, Ellie, what do you think about this lovely radio message in the middle of the race from Charles' race engineer?
Sorry, what was that?
I was laughing so hard. That was so funny.
That I was just like, what is that? What the hell?
Wow.
That's not what he wanted to know, but all right.
He was like, if you're thinking logical, like, where is this going to put us? You don't just say, if we stay in P1. Like, obviously, he knows that. He wanted the logical answer. Sometimes the Ferrari strategy people and like group, I'm just like, what goes through your head? You're meant to be some of the smartest people, and you just balls it up.
Did anybody watch their like their Mr. and Mr. on the F1 show of him and Carlos?
I watched it on
I think that's my favourite thing.
Oh, it's really funny.
Lando's internally crying right now.
Yeah, Lando's like, Ferrari friends.
Oh,
well,
like after
such a good race.
7. Sorry,
I said Carlos had such a good race.
Yeah, it was like after 7 seasons or something. He's finally got his first driver of the day.
He was so surprised.
Yeah, he was like, wow, thank you.
Has he never had
it?
Huh?
Never had driver of the day.
No, never.
I was like, what?
I know. I was like,
crazy.
This man is too underrated. People need to get on this.
That's what Lando said, didn't he? At the start, he was like, people can actually see that Carlos is actually this good, because obviously he did quite well in one of the, I think it was at the start of the season. He was like, now everyone's seeing how really good he is.
Yeah.
So hopefully next year Ferrari can kind of push on a bit with obviously the new changes, because some days they get it so right, and I do think it is quite track specific for them, and that's what obviously Charles said as well over the weekend, and I probably do agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's half a point between them, half a point.
Wow.
Their battle is going to be more interesting than Max and Lewis's.
About time.
I know. There's so many battles going off on the grid, though. It's getting good.
It is.
Do you know what I was quite surprised about? Sonoda and Lewis.
Oh no!
Yes.
He was not moving over.
He was like, except for Perez, he was like the only one keeping him at bay for a bit.
Yeah.
I was really surprised.
Perez and Hamilton's.
That
was
was
a good one.
So good.
That was so good.
I was just happy to see racing that didn't end up in a crash. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
I felt too many,
Like, two obviously sensible drivers.
Yeah, we've seen too many people trying to battle it that they've just took each other out or crashed.
Yeah,
Oh,
literally.
this is what racing is. This is what we live for. It's like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
I think that's going to be the Red
But,
Bull team game, I think, for in Austin, because obviously I think on Friday when I was watching practice, I thought, I don't think Red Bull are going to do that great this weekend. Obviously we knew the new engine change from previous race, and then they had so much understeer, but it worked so well for Perez, and I think Max had to get on his level, so they just had to switch for one weekend, and it worked, and it obviously played in their favour because they ended up with P2 and P3. But if they didn't and they just focused on Max, I think it would have been a whole different story with him and Lewis, because at that time when Lewis wanted to pit, he could have come out at the same time as Max did if that had happened, when they were saying the different strategies over the weekend. So yeah, I think Red Bull did quite well. I think that was very good team.
It was the livery that did it.
Yeah, special livery.
That was a good livery.
That was so nice.
Unreal.
Not quite as good as
Did you see the tweets they did?
We can like that.
Yeah. Look at the Mercedes.
Yeah.
I seen
Last
that
time. Tried that one. Then the reply was like, yeah, we tried it.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And they're like, we tried it and we got double podium.
Those Twitter admins make me laugh so much. Like, they just go on. Like, there was that video of Lewis walking out, and obviously, and the comments apparently were quite full on, and the Twitter admin reposted it with a meme saying "horny please," and it was like, look at the comments, and it was so funny because it was like, you wouldn't expect a team to post that, but the fact they did, just, it's so good. I loved it. I love that.
They are so funny.
Can we talk about the fact that Crofty, can you remember when he said in the race, I think Perez gave Lewis too much, Lewis gave Perez too much room.
I was like, where?
Like, what?
Where was this?
Where's that room when you pushed him into the pit lane?
Literally.
It goes to the other side of the bollard.
And then he goes, oh no, actually, I think it was the other way around, or something along those lines. And I'm like,
yeah, definitely. And then, what else happened? I'm trying to think.
There was Seb's tyre. Seb's obviously stayed on slicks.
Yeah,
Let's talk about his helmet for a starter.
Oh, with a little
Seb
bit.
is just coming through this season with everything, supporting the world, promoting everything he can, and supporting every single cause. And you just think, yep, thank you.
Yes,
everyone needs a Seb in their life.
they do.
I would say.
Seb's just the dad to everyone.
Yeah.
He's the F1 dad, and I love it.
And then if we talk about tyres, can we talk about Ocon's tyres, that he went the full range on one
They were broken.
Yes.
like,
Points.
tyre management. Perez, nothing on the tyre management.
I wonder
It's
how
when
much
there was like the
longer they would last.
hole. I was like, how did that not
Just like a
hold?
massive blister.
Yeah, how did that not cause like a blowout?
And then
I see that. But I was like, that is like lucky it didn't blow out. But holy Jesus, he did it. And at one point, I literally thought Lewis was going to go like the whole way on them tyres, him and Charles. But then
obviously he didn't box, did he?
Did you see the photos of the tyres after? Because obviously Seb struggled because he was on slicks anyway, and there was just no way that. Well, imagine if it actually worked, he'd have been within the top 10. So they took the chance, and obviously they knew what was going to happen anyway. Well, potentially what was going to happen. So fair play to them for giving it a go. But yeah, I saw the photo, and they literally were intermediate, so then they were slicks.
In the middle.
Yeah, they did call them the interslicks, right?
That's the new compound for next year.
Yeah.
I will get on that one. Yeah, because then obviously Lewis didn't box today. And then everyone was like, oh my God, Lewis not boxing, not listening to team.
And then the team called him in, and he was a little bit fuming. Because where was he? Was he fourth?
Yeah, and it was like, I can't remember. Everyone was like, oh my God, Lewis was shouting across the radio. And it's like, have you had Kimmy? Have you had Sonoda?
In it,
but
when you're in a car racing, you're going to be full of adrenaline, and all you're thinking about is winning. Like, let's be honest. So, like, if you get a bit hot-headed, everyone does it. Because
it's not like
all people get road rage.
Anyway.
It's just a bit more exaggeration road rage. Everyone gets it, so everyone needs to calm down and stop being horrible.
Exactly. Yeah.
What did Toto said that it was something to do with the stopwatch, so they could see like everyone was Lewis was falling off, Charles was falling off, and then like Pierre, he would have been literally on the same level as Pierre, and if not, has proven right. And this time it was just obviously they just they just did the wrong call for him, and it happens. Like, I understand it's probably now more than ever, it'll probably mean something to him that the team got it wrong, but
if you think it almost, that what they've got to think about as well is like a team, they don't want to take a risk with like when Lewis is battling for the championship to end up having a blowout from a tyre that he's been on for too long. So in their minds, it's better to get more, like a good decent amount of points than no points at all. So I sort of see that aspect of it as well.
Because they did say that, Pirelli said today that they wouldn't have lasted. I think they said that they wouldn't have lasted the whole duration of the race.
Yeah. And not the Lewis was pushing and defending. I just don't think that, they would have gone.
Obviously, I think it was like lap 52, Perez overtook Charles, which was a little bit sad for Ellie.
It's fine.
We move on. No, it's so funny because I'm seeing these TikToks and it's like, you think you can hurt me? I'm a McLaren fan, and then all the Ferrari fans are like, "Girl,
get up back a second." Being a McLaren fan, you've won races and been on the podium this year. Being a Ferrari fan can be difficult.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
I'm just like, it gets easier as it goes along because you then you don't expect much. You just think, oh,
exactly,
messed it up. They do that all the time. It's fine. You get used to it.
I was surprised. Yeah. Wrong.
Can we talk about when the Red Bull did pit stop and the cameraman he loved that pit stop.
It's like, yes. What was it, 2.1 seconds? We haven't had a really quick one since the new changes came in the middle of August.
I think they had to get used to this.
Yeah.
Like having to push the button again.
Yeah. Because I thought, wow, that is quick, because we were like a few races ago, it was like 5.5, 4.8, and then it just went up and up and up. And obviously you had the long ones, which didn't work out. And then now you think, wow, 2.1, we're back in the fun zone again.
Yeah.
And it was the Rebel Masterclass that pulled it.
Yes. I don't get how they are all so fast at it. Like, they are literally unbelievable at pit stops.
Do you reckon they literally, obviously when
They
there's no
must
rain,
just
they
do
go
endless
across factory and
training.
literally just to go bam, like do the tires.
I can just
They
Christian,
literally did a pit stop they did
Again.
a non-gravity pit stop. Like,
Mm-hmm.
get it?
literally, yeah, I can just imagine Christian Horner just being there all the time, making sure that they're just doing it over.
With like his whistle and a bat.
Yeah, again.
Let's keep doing this. Get on it.
2
I
points.
was actually thinking about. I was thinking about Christian Horner being in Paris's ear. Like, you have to hold up Hamilton. You have to do whatever you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Defense.
It was so good. I
And
think
then
that's
when-
probably like one of the
Pulled
greatest.
away, and then like pulled away like for over a second, and then I was thinking, I don't think Lewis is then gonna really catch him, and I was thinking, like, this is good. Perez could get away with this because I thought like it's inevitable. Hamilton's gonna catch him. He's probably gonna overtake him, but like, hey ho, he can probably hold him up for a bit. And then Perez started to pull away again, and then he pulled away quite a bit, and I was like, oh, that's what we need the second driver for.
Yeah, because like I personally, since I want Max to win the World Championship, I was getting so frustrated because like Tsunoda held him up, and then you had Norris who did nothing. And then you had Gasly who did nothing. And I was like, what's going on?
I was like, Lewis, to be fair, Lewis did a good race. He was just
He
picking
was
off.
so quick.
Yeah.
He came flying.
Hats off to Lewis as like one of the biggest Red Bull fans ever. Hats off to Lewis.
Go Lewis.
And to be fair, I think he's kind of like, I know everybody noticed him yesterday, but I think a lot of people have obviously picked up on his comments. But I think people are just shadowing the fact that like the overtakes he did, there were some good overtakes.
Yeah,
They were good. He was so quick. That,
A lot of people were comparing it to the fact
my Lewis fan.
P20 to 2, and Lewis say went from 11 to 5. I think a lot of people are comparing it to Max and Sochi, but you know what I mean, it's just
yeah.
I think Lewis had a fab race.
He did well though, Lewis did.
Yeah. It was very much like Carlos's and Lewis.
Very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it's like Bottas is like, what about me?
Yeah, Bottas I'm over here and I won the race.
That video.
Like, a lot.
Yeah, and then there's that video of like Toto not clapping at the camera, and then as soon as the camera's gone, and then was like,
I was like, oh.
everyone can clap me on their own.
I think that'll be it. That'll be
I can't wait to see what like Alfa may do for Bottas. Like, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I'm quite excited to see him there next year, to be honest.
That's with everyone as well.
But we're still
It's gonna be weird.
he's going to win a race again.
Yeah. Do we know who's
No.
going to do?
Imagine if that was his last race win.
I can't imagine. I don't think we will see an Alfa Romeo on the podium now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Vanessa. I think that yesterday was that's it.
I have a question to ask. So I was going through the F1 app casually earlier.
As you do.
And I didn't know that they announced that the sprint race would be at Brazil. Did anybody else know that?
No. You've just told us.
I heard that.
They've not announced it, have they? On the F1 app. Sprint.
Oh.
I was noticing because I was just looking at the
And here
timing
first, guys.
races.
Yep.
There's a sprint race at Brazil.
Oh my god, I did not know that.
It's in Brazil. I was
When's
like,
that?
I texted my friend.
confirm?
I was like, have you seen this? And I was like, she was like, no, they've not said anything about that. And I went back over the Instagram and I'm pretty sure they hadn't because I knew there'd be 3, but I think we'd all just come to the conclusion that they'd not announced the 3rd one yet.
Yeah.
All that, and I was like,
Well, then they only did it on Sky Germany because they talked about it before the race.
Oh.
yeah, no idea. I was so shocked. I was like, Brazil, it's a funky place to have a sprint race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be a good track for it.
Yeah, it will be good.
I thought they'd stick it somewhere like Qatar just to really, really mix it all up because no properly raced
That
Qatar.
would be interesting because it's just flat.
I know. I think I
like-
would have if they did it in I would have kicked off if they did do it in Abu Dhabi, but I think we all knew that they wouldn't because that had can you imagine if the championship went down to the last?
Can you imagine? Oh my god. There'd be absolute wars going on.
Can you imagine, say Lewis and Max took each other out in the sprint race? So therefore they started P20 and 19. Imagine that.
That would actually be absolute madness.
You know, I was thinking, imagine if like every race from now until the end, Max and Lewis just crash, and then Bottas goes and wins the championship, or like Lando does. Imagine.
Can you imagine?
I'm gonna spice it. Mix it up.
Champions.
Do you think we will see another crash between those two?
Yeah.
Like maybe as it gets like tighter and tighter, and they start battling more and more, I feel like it's gonna be more like.
I think they
like Qatar. I reckon Qatar, because that's like literally the weekend before. I reckon
it's so exciting.
It's going to kick off in here. I can just see it kicking off.
It's getting so stressful.
I'm really excited about this, but do you know what I'm not excited about? About the race times next week.
Oh, yes, America.
Yeah. What time are we talking?
Well, we're talking for you 10 o'clock.
In night?
In the evening?
Yeah. Qualifying start at 10.
Oh, I'm normally in bed by 10:30. Oh, God.
That's good, though, because
then I can watch it then. So shit, qualifying Saturday, isn't it?
Late races are the best. That's why I was looking at what time Brazil would be.
What, Arabella, you on the app now? What time is Austin?
Races at 8 o'clock, qualies at 10.
In the evening, like 8 p.m?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Like the football's on, then I can watch the. Oh, this is fantastic Sunday.
What a day!
What a day!
He's planned out.
It's Man United Liverpool.
We can do something during the day.
Lovely. Oh. What more could you want?
It's like putting a film, but it's just better. And then Mexico, the race is 7 and qualies at 8.
Okay, that's not too
Abu Dhabi's in the evening.
That's okay.
No, that clashes. I'm assuming it's going to clash with NFL.
Real.
You watch. And my team will be on at 8 o'clock, and then it'll be like the F1 race on at 8 o'clock. I won't be able to watch the NFL.
Oh, do you know what is sad? Well, I don't know if it's sad or not, but I usually go to the races with my dad, and Classic Le Mans has just been changed to the same day as Silverstone, so I now have to go with my mum, which I'm not complaining about, obviously. I love going with my mum, but it's like, it's maybe my dad's thing. But
it's like yours and your dad's position.
Yeah, I'm going with my mum. She's like, we work with it.
It's a short race anyway, really.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most exciting, was it really?
No, as Max said, the hardest part was keeping awake or being awake.
Quite literally.
So why say that? You cannot sleep and drive. That is just a no-no.
F1 car.
Dangerous, Max. Do not endorse dangerous driving, please, Max.
Be sensible, kids, on the road.
It'll be drink driving, Max.
Oh dear.
Bring the action.